If you're a PhD student, something goes wrong, let's say harassment, data manipulation, retaliation from your advisor, do you actually know what your options are? Many of us, including myself, have learned this the hard way. And the answer at most universities in the US is, there isn't much we can do. Now, let's back this up and I'll walk you through how the grievance process works for a PhD student. I'm going to use two schools for my examples, Harvard, where a recent grad student union strike was ended, and the University of Miami, where I did my PhD. But this pattern holds for most schools at the US. Now, at if you have a complaint about your advisor, you start at the department level, meaning you report to the people who are your advisor's colleagues. There is no union, no external arbitration, no enforceable timeline. There is this ombudsperson, usually a senior faculty member, who will sit down and listen to your complaints. But, as I learnt the hard way, this is advisory only. They can't compel anything to happen. For harassment and discrimination, everything stays inside university-controlled offices. Now, Harvard has a grad student union contract, which gives us grad students something stronger for standard workplace disputes. Binding external arbitration is available for things like pay and workload. But for harassment and sexual misconduct, it's the same story. Those complaints go to an internal Title IX office. The only external option is non-binding mediation, meaning the university can ignore the outcome. Harvard grad students' recent strike was in part because they've been trying to get independent arbitration for harassment cases for 7 years across 3 contracts and still don't have it. 2 things I want you to understand about why this system so often fails. First, the advisor problem. Your PI, principal investigator, controls your data, your funding, your letters, your graduation timeline. When a grievance process starts at the department level, where that same advisor is a senior colleague, that's not a neutral starting point. That's asking students to report up into the structure that controls their future. Second, research misconduct has almost no student-specific protections. Federal whistleblower rules exist on paper, but implementation is entirely university-controlled. Most students don't know the policy exists, and retaliation doesn't have to be formal to end a career. A withheld PhD is invisible. Now, 3 things that could help change this. Mandatory access to external binding arbitration for harassment and discrimination, which peer institutions like MIT, NYU, and Stanford already have for their grad student contracts. Complaints about advisors bypassing the department entirely from day one, and universities publishing annual data on how many grievances were filed, what happened, and how long they took. Without that data, there's no accountability and no way to identify serial misconduct patterns. I've written my breakdown of this as my first ever Substack, so if you want to go learn more, check it out. This is a conversation the scientific community needs to be having.